Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Beverly McCaskill, thank you so much for being first. And let's see, there's Lydia Washington. And who else do we have here? Um, Yalibi, Marina Adams, Katie V, Brenda Crane, Connie Bowmer. Hey, Connie Bowmer. Thank you so much for being here. Um, and a host of friends and other. Also, thank you so much, MR, for the Cash App. Greatly appreciate it. Happy Sunday night, Monday morning to you. Well, the weekend went so fast. I thought for sure that I was well rested, and I wasn't. Despite the fact that I thought I slept pretty well, I went back to sleep. And next thing I know, 6 hours had gone by. So I don't know what happened, but it was a rainy weekend. And I always feel like the rain does things to me. So whatever it was or was not, anyway, we're all here and that's what matters. So all I can say is thank you, Lord, for another day. Uh, okay. So I just got this one thing to do. Then I could load my, let's see. I could load my slides. Otherwise, the weekend was pretty much uneventful. And, well, at least where I'm concerned, and hopefully everybody else, unless it was a good event. But still, my mind is on the Middle East, and I haven't talked much about it because it's been very frustrating, and it always has been, and deliberately so, I'm sure. But do have a couple things to say about that, so we'll get into that in due time. All right. And let's see, that done with that. So now I could load my slides and we should be good to go. Oh, I loaded them already. Oh, okay, wait. I need to do them again. All right. Slides. Talk myself through it if you don't mind. All right. And let's see. Lola Love is here. Vinny Blair. Big Mama's in the house. Leslie F. Gwen Daniels. Phyllis Johnson. Carmen's Place. Lisha. Let's see. Janet Lavalley. Susie Q. Yes, happy Sunday to you too. Oh, you're almost about to go to bed, huh? All right. Oh, yeah, it is late, isn't it? Okay, Black Queen is here. MR. All right. Very good. So I'm ready. Wow, my computer is working kind of fast, which is freaking me out. Just last week I thought it was on the verge of collapse, but they had some updates and it seems like all of a sudden it's faster. So there is the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The royal family website has been updated. Um, no big surprises, but again, we'll get into that. So without any further ado, let's move on. Just last week, this time last week, there was 42,000 subscribers to the Royal Sussex. Today, there's 43,000. I slept right through my rollover. I like to do my screenshots, so I have the perfect zeros across there, but I missed it. Now it is 43,018 the last time I looked. So thank you very much again for all of your support. Could not have done it without you. And as always, thank you to the moderators. Very important to keep this a safe space. So big to the members of Royal Sussex, people who have paid subscriptions. And let's see, and to everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed. Okay, thank you very much. Much applause to you. Let's see, Black Queen says, yes, Suzanne Summers passed away, sadly. I like Suzanne Summers. I was so surprised when I saw that because she always seemed so young and full of life that you just could not imagine. Like Raquel Welch when she passed away, um, even though some of the stuff that she said in recent years kind of got on my nerves, um, still she was a great talent and just like Suzanne Summers, eternally young, one of those eternally young people. And you just don't ever expect that they're going to make their transition, although, we all do at some point. But still, I was just very surprised because, you know, just when I was about to go and try to find my thigh master, then I get that news. So, um, yeah, very sad. Thank you, Black Queen. Okay. All right. So, don't know how you all felt about the photo, but it's so weird because people are saying that it's not real. It's not real, that it may be AI generated. Honestly, I don't know. It seemed real to me. Um, and just to refresh your tea, this is the photo. Then I cropped it a little closer. Then someone pointed out, why is that a cloud shaped like a heart? That's very suspicious. Well, it doesn't look like a heart to me. To me, it looks like a chicken. I mean, it looks like a gigantic, fluffy, stuffed chicken. But, recollections may vary. Some people say it looks like a heart. And all right, so let's do the most simple thing that we can do, the shadows. Meghan is in the shadows, Harry is not. So there's clearly a shadow coming down her left side from her left arm. There's a shadow that's in front of her and a shadow on the ground from her left arm and from her. Harry is in the shade, right? Then take a look at the street lamp. Where is the shadow for the street lamp? Well, considering the sun seems to be to their back, which to me means they're walking north or due north, then that means that the shadow from the street lamp is absorbed into the alignment of the street lamp itself. And of course, they're closer to the equator than I am right now. So the shadows are going to look a little different. So Mama Jane says, I don't think it's them. Well, um, there's a lot of things that's right with this photo. The Panama hat, the tote, the maxi, Meghan's incredible shoulders. Yeah. And then also, who distributed the photo? Daily Mail, which makes it very suspicious. Now, I have one thing that I am going to say that I thought was very curious. When I saw this in the Daily Mail, there was no accreditation for the photo. Again, the photo wasn't credited to anyone. So, how is that possible that there's no one credited to that photo? Um, no, uh, nothing, nothing. There was no credit for that photo. And I'm always looking to see who credits the photo. I did not see one. So that, of course, makes me very suspicious of where the photo comes from. And perhaps it is AI. And a lot of people are terrified of AI. We were terrified of Y2K. The thing is, manipulating photos is nothing new. People have been playing with photos for, since the beginning. Like, for instance, those big, gorgeous, rounded hips that you would see on people like Mae West. Mae West was built like a Tonka truck. There were no hips. But because she, wanted to maintain a certain image, they would airbrush them in. Um, Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford uh, is a freckle face. She was a woman of 1,000 freckles, but you would never know that in her long, storied Hollywood career because they were always removed or painted over or whatever. So you don't even have that as a reference. So I don't know. I believe Mr. said it best on The Color Purple. Could be not. Who's to say? Of course, Mr. also said that mailbox be fixed so I can tell if it be messed with. No, he said that mailbox is fixed so I can tell if it be messed with. So there was a lot of these platitudes that poured out of his mouth, none of which was compelling in 2023. Dell, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's them. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be. As we always say, there are no leaks in Montecito, and if you don't hear it from Harry and Meghan, then it doesn't exist. So don't know. Don't know. It's interesting. I'll just say it's interesting, but honestly, what does it matter? What does it matter in the big picture? But if it's not them, why that location? And of course, why now? So I'm leaning toward it's them. Yeah, I'm going to lean toward it's them. I didn't realize that there was any controversy about it until today. And I noticed that there was people just like kind of questioning whether or not it was real. So, but I understand. I mean, it's something to think about. Yeah, huh. Is it live or is it Memorex? Good question. Hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it just seems right. It just seems right to me. Everything about it seems right. But hey, then again, is it really that important? Is it really that important? So, I don't know what to say. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna leave it be. Okay. Let me take a quick look at the comments before we go on. But anyway, I like that. I like where they're just like, you know, someone posted that, of course, on the social media, and I just thought I'd share it with you. Let me see here. Oh, the Daily Mail hired actors. Okay. Let's see, Baron, your memory for old movies is just fantastic. Oh, thank you, Beverly McCaskill. Um, I think what refreshes my memory is that I watch a lot of those old interviews and biographies and stuff like that. So it's a good way to keep fresh with those details. And then sometimes I just watch a lot of those old movies. Educate you too. Thank you for being here. Let me see. Phlebotomy staffing solution. Thank you for being here. Okay. Again, Dale, aren't they always doing that? Trying to win over the U.S.? YM Droid says, I work with a lot of AI image tools and I'm leaning toward it's real. I'm sorry, it's a real photo. You usually don't get the back of people. Yeah. Oh, I know what we can do. Let's count. How many fingers does Harry have? I'm counting. It looks like it's, well, it is lifted from the original photo. So that would, the finer points, sometimes that doesn't work out too well when you do a cut and paste, but it looks authentic to me. Everything about it says it's authentic to me. Let me see. Oh, LC, thank you so much for the Venmo. I hardly ever get Venmos, as you know, and that's always fun. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Uh-oh. Uh, let's see. Patricia Ann Franklin says, the Grenadines are a set of beautiful islands. I spent some time there in Union Island. Okay. And Rodney Jackson says, if you look closer, they're not holding hands. He's holding her. Well, now see, I I talked about that yesterday, right? And this is my theory about that. Sometimes when you're happy and you're in love and you're like walking together, you do that little, that big patty cake thing where you just kind of slap at each other's hands, right? Right? And you don't always line up, or sometimes you kind of fight for dominance when you do that to see whose hand is going to be on top or whatever. So I'm just thinking that's just, for lack of a better word, just a little playful patty cake. And yeah, that's just something that lovers do when they're in a good mood, when they're happy, when they're enjoying their time together. You just kind of swat at each other's hands. Um, so I think that's all there is to it. I don't think the alignment of the hands is like a big thing. He could have literally just put his phone back in his pocket, and then it was time to touch hands again. So yeah, I don't see that as any like indictment about the validity of the photo. Lady T says, "Oh my goodness, they are in the process of holding hands. It's not a motion picture; it's still. Okay, but they are walking though. They're obviously walking. So yeah, yeah, it could have been just that simple. She put on some lip gloss. He looked at his phone. He put the phone back. She just dropped her lip gloss back into the tote, and they're reaching for each other's hands. Yeah, that's what I think. Um, anyway, sew them to touch hands like that, right? Okay. Megan's hand looks cupped as if she is grasping something, whereas Harry's hand is open. Again, that may be a play. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That may be a little play of the shadow. And of course, look at the distance of the photo to have the image sharp enough to really know what's going. See how blurry that is? So that is the distance in the photo. That's got to be at least what? About 50 yards, maybe? Yeah. And that does look like that California hat, doesn't it? That kind of charcoal gray looking California hat. I know because I eventually bought myself one. So as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. Okay, are you all done playing detective? I am. So take a look here. To the squatty that put this collage together for 2023, thanks a million. Check it out. You have Invictus, you have World Mental Health Day, you have posing with is it Kerry Washington and Rollins? Is it Michelle Rollins? And you have Doug, the second gentleman. You have the don't help me, you guys. I got this. The striped shirt, that is the Fisher House. And then, of course, Meghan's first night at the Invictus game. You have Colonel, I'm sorry, not Colonel, but General, and is he the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff now? Uh, General Charles Q. Brown, right? You have Spare, that came out in January. You have that phone call. You have the Kevin Costner 1805 thing. You have the USO when Harry surprised him for the screening of Heart of Invictus. You have the ISPS, whatever, Honda thing in Japan. You have, of course, the Ms. award that Meghan received. And then, of course, there was Well Child, Harry's first night of Invictus, was it? And then, of course, Meghan reading to the kids at Invictus, more Invictus. Then, of course, that's the young lady who just moved to the U.S. That was for the Diana Award. Then there's Heart of Invictus premiere. There's more Invictus Dusseldorf, the polo match in Singapore, the Miz Foundation, and of course the recent trip to the Marcy School, and the basketball game. Who remembers that already? So yeah, 2023 has been very busy. I love seeing this. So to celebrate, look at what I did. Okay, look at what I did. I made a bigger collage out of it by combining it together. All right. But I wasn't done yet. No, I wasn't done. Then I did this. I did like an overlay. So it spells out Sussex 2023. But yeah, that's what I did. And I was like, how do you do something like that? So I worked it out. I did some well, I couldn't explain how I did it, but anyway, I worked it out. See? Just a complete overlay. Haha. I made like a stencil and then I just laid it right on top. Just like that. Cool, right? I love it. Oh, Nuthalando, thank you so much for being here. Good morning. According to South African time, to our beloved Baron and the beloved squatties, have a blessed week ahead with your families. Thank you so much. Got a bell for you. Thank you. That was very nice. Let's see. B10 Palace says, Baron, I like the Sussex 2023 poster. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had fun doing that. Never did anything like that before, but I've figured it out. I was very proud of myself. And that's why I love doing this stuff because let's see, awesome long way. Oh, thank you very much. It's fun because you problem solve, and I love the problem solve. So I've seen something like this before, and I'm just like, how do they do that? Now I probably went the longest way possible, but I didn't have to buy any software, right? I was able to use what I have, so it didn't cost me anything extra. And it came out just perfect. The only tricky part was finding numerals big enough so that you can see more of what was beneath it. So I'll definitely do that again one day. But yes, it has been a very, very busy 2023. Now, Royal Family updated their site and still confirmed in writing that Duchess Meghan has 3 official titles and her kids do really exist. Now, this is a quote from Masquati as Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana. BBC also added their faces in their line of succession. So who's lying? Derangers, royal rats, or royal family? So this is one of the weapons that the derangers love to throw at the Sussex squad. They're not royals anymore. They quit. They should be arrested for using those titles. They have no right to call them. And of course, one of the biggest triggers in the world is Princess Meghan. You say Princess Meghan, and all of the Looney Tunes come pouring out of the woodwork. I don't know why they are so hostile about saying Princess Meghan. Why is that so offensive? I mean, she is a princess. No, that is not the proper styling of her name, but that's what we choose to call her. We called Aretha Franklin the Queen of Soul. We called Beyonce, or called Beyonce Queen Bey, Queen Bey. So what's wrong with Princess Meghan? I mean, was Billie Holiday actually Lady Day? Was Ella Fitzgerald the Queen of Swing? Elvis the King? So I don't understand the beef. To me, it's all just a bunch of it's just it's a curiosity, okay? It's a curiosity. It's a novelty. That's it. It doesn't change whether or not the electric company expects my payment once a month. It doesn't decide the price of the gasoline that I put in my car. It doesn't decide any of that stuff for me. It has no bearing on me financially. I would say emotionally, it's just fun. But people get all caught up in their feelings. And that's like with the what do you call those? The shorts. When I post a short, if I put Princess Meghan, all hell breaks loose. And I'm just like, what is so wrong with these people? Why are they so bothered by that? Yeah, that's right, Ulibi. She's at the top of the pyramid. You got that right. And that seems to worry them. They are so triggered. They're so triggered by that. And I just don't understand the hostility for someone that you don't know. You've never met the Duchess of Sussex. She definitely doesn't do anything to the people that are so angry, except exist. I mean, it's just like because she's alive, because she's married into the royal family, it seems to upset their sensibility. They just can't take it. Yeah, they just can't take it. And I'm just like, what is the problem? I mean, she's just a member of the royal family. Is it also wrong? Why do people lose their grip? It's like I don't know what to call it. It's insane. It is insane. Um, it's like some kind of group psychoses or something. Yeah. If I had to say, it's like some kind of psychoses. And these people are just so triggered by that. I just don't understand the hostility. Is it because she's a woman of color? Is it because she's black, biracial? Is it because she's married to Harry? Is it Harry? What is the beef? Well, you say prince. She's not a princess. Since when is she I mean, you ought to see the comments. They're so angry, so triggered. Yeah, it's almost frightening sometimes. Just the vitriol, the bilge that spews out of them. I'm like, is it that bad? I just called her Princess Meghan, and it's just like they almost have a reaction like Curly on the Three Stooges, running into the wall, doing that little spinning thing on the floor, and yuck, 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 all that kind of stuff. Like they're having, like they're having a fit. You know, it's like if I say it one time too many, like they're going to go and I don't know, uh, you know how when they have those big champion games and they like tear up the whole town? Yeah, like they're going to do that. I hesitate to say the words, of course, because I don't want to, get demonetized. But you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, they like they want to go on some kind of spree or something. I just calm down, calm down. And because I know it bothers them, it just, well, I don't know. Then it makes me want to say it that much more because I know it's so triggering. But I don't know, y'all. Let me see. Is this the video I'm looking for? Yes, that's it right there. That's it. When you said pyramid, it reminded me of the article from oh gosh, Royal Suitor. Definitely, it reminded me of the article from Royal Suitor. But yeah, they're so triggered by that, and I just don't understand it. That really, seriously though, the hate and the hostility, I don't understand it. I don't hate any of those people. Now, yes, they do get on my nerves, and I have those moments where I'm just like shouting from the rooftops. But for the most part, I don't know any of them. I've never met Harry and Meghan. I've never met anybody in that family. And honestly, if I never do, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Um, but I, because of a sense of principle, I'm acting on principle that I have been defending the Sussexes, of course. Um, yeah, yeah, it's really an act of consciousness and an act of principle that I have been defending them all this time, and I'm going to continue to do that. So yeah, that's it. But if it triggers some people, not sorry, sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry that it upsets people so much, but I'm not sorry to upset them by saying it. It's just I don't get the hostility. I don't get why they're so triggered by that. I don't understand the especially you figure these must just be everyday people, nothing exceptional about them, I'm sure. But yet they act like they're the gatekeepers for the royal family, that they are the people that have to defend the crown at all. I mean, what does the crown do for anybody these days? It does very little. The crown, the idea of the crown itself, it represents a lot of things to a lot of people, but right now, especially during this period of austerity and inflation and such, is it really helping anybody? None of my business. I don't live over there, but Harry and Meghan, that's my business. So that's my connection to it. But I will never understand um, why some of those people are so triggered. That escapes me. And why they feel like they need to be the gatekeepers for who has a royal title and who has not. Thank you, Yulipi. Take a look at a couple of your comments. Lady T says, "Oh my God, that will." Let me see. What does it say here? What will the derangers have to say? Have now to say? Are they gonna go after the royal family? Funny you should say that because there are some that are angry at Charles. They think he should be more hostile toward the Sussexes. Um, yeah, there are some people that have been willing to take Charles to task for not being strict enough, for not being more assertive. But hasn't that always been a problem with Charles? Let's see. Nothalando says racism and jealousy is their main problem. Haters expect Meghan to be as dumb as their feelings toward the people. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's their feelings toward people of color, and they don't accept a black woman being intelligent. As Pedo was saying earlier, the way they love to move the goalpost anytime they see black women achieving or black women at the top of anything. If they're the best of, then all of a sudden they want to move the goalposts. Joyce Yvette Davis says, that's the point, Baron. Those famous people are given those titles by the public. Princess Meghan really is a princess by marriage. The titles are real, not just what people want to call her. Yeah, but they will swear up and down that she quit the royal family. She doesn't have any titles anymore. And they say it like it's true. And I can't help but think that someone must have convinced them that that was the case. But why do you take the time out to verbally chastise me for saying it? Why do you care? What about the people that say, not my king? Well, that's their prerogative. Yellow Rose T says, it's the one drop rule. She tainted the royal family, shaking my head. Yeah, that's what it is that they feel as though suddenly that the bloodline has been tainted. And that's the same thing that happened with Princess Angela of Liechtenstein. Yeah, they didn't have a press that was going after her and attacking her like this, but it was still a sentiment among the people within the family and within the Germanic community at large that somehow that pure Aryan blood was going to be tainted by mixing with African blood. If it wasn't supposed to be, then it wouldn't be possible, right? I mean, you don't mate a chicken and a bald eagle. You don't get anything out of that. They're both birds, aren't they? Um, so I don't get I don't get why I mean, if it was not meant to be, then it wouldn't be possible. But because people can intermarry and produce offspring that can grow up and be president of the United States or the very first Duchess of Sussex, then it's possible. Then it's within the eyes of God that it happened. So anything else, as you say, is just reduced down to racism. And at one drop, absolutely, that seems to keep them up at night. Thank you so much for your comment. Let me see here. Let me see if I still have that. Nope, don't want that one. Let me see. Now that was about 5 months ago. Huh. Nope, don't see it, don't see it. Okay, maybe not. That's okay. I'm at one of those junctions in the road where I can't remember the title. And in that case, so never mind. Uh, that was 5 months ago. Let me try one more thing. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work out. I know I'm not going to find that one. I tell you what, if I can find it later, then I have something that we can all watch together at the end. But for now, I don't see it. Okay. Yeah, okay, maybe later, maybe later. All right, so I'm going to move on. Okay. Again, thank you. The Rangers need to go back and watch the wedding. Yes, thank you, Gerda. Thank you. Go back and watch the wedding, and all shall be revealed. I agree with you. It's all right there in the wedding video. They went to the back, they signed those books or whatever documents. Let's see. Helen Cole says Queen Elizabeth II blood has one drop of black blood from the line of Charlotte, who was Queen Victoria's grandmother and the late Queen Elizabeth great grandmother. 3 times removed, is it? Times 3. They all have black blood. Aren't we all Africans when you get down to it? But yes, it is said that the Charlotte's line comes from that Portuguese noble family, and that they were known to have that Moorish blood. So they can pretend otherwise, but we'll never know because they're not likely to ever submit to a DNA. And if they do, they're not going to share it with us. But it would be interesting to find out officially. But thank you so much, Helen Cole. Yeah, they don't want to know, just like they don't ever want to test anyone from the royal crypt. They don't ever want to test any of those people that have been buried. And I could understand it would set a precedence, but at least the princes from the tower, let's find out about them. Shelley L says, Meghan as Princess Skills, their fantasy of being Harry's, being a woman of color means he never would have chosen any of them, and they hate her for it. They should try sleeping rough with a black man. It worked for Will. Like that song says, hey, Harry, once you go black, you never go back. I love that song. And that part where she mentions the queen, I just lose it every time. But thank you so much for that, Shelley L. Yeah, it's just some very raw prejudice and racism that no matter how much time goes by, people have not evolved any further than the same type of racism and prejudice that there was 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and so on. So if you look here, the Duke of Sussex is 5th in line to the throne and the younger son of the King and Diana, Princess of Wales. He spent 10 years working in the armed forces. ending operational duties in 2015. During his service, he conducted 2 tours of duty to Afghanistan with the British Army. As announced in January 2020, the Duke and Duchess have stepped back as senior members of the royal family. They are balancing their time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor their duty to the King, the Commonwealth, and their patronages. Now, there is a little bit inside of that language that I would like to point out that just kind of sticks out. Um, they're balancing their time. They're balancing their time. I thought we said no half in, no half out, right? They are not taking any money from the public. And yes, they do have their patronages over there. But aside from that, they have stepped back from senior royal duty. Now, aside from the Duke of Windsor, in modern times, this is just something that hasn't happened. And so we're making up all these rules as we go along. So let me see. The Duke and Duchess have stepped back as senior members of the. So they step back as senior members of the royal family, but they are still senior members of the royal family because his father is the king. So they step back from those duties, but they still have their HRH, which is another trigger. If I say HRH, they just about blow their tops. They cannot stand. They're not HRH anymore. You need to do more research. Yeah, they are. And of course, Lady C says the HRH is in abatement. They promise not to use it. Now, Harry offered the titles when he left, and they said, no, keep them. We'll give this a 1-year trial and see what happens. And so after a year, they didn't go back. But at no point did it say that their titles were removed after a year. That was not part of the deal. They still have their titles. They could have done that at the time, and they chose to not do it. They let them keep it. So, and of course, because Kate is Princess of Wales, and Harry, as was pointed out to me, I thought all this time that Harry was Mountbatten-Windsor. No, Harry's birth certificate says he's Henry David this and that of Wales. Wales. His last name is Wells, not Windsor. He and William were born Welleses because his father was Prince of Wales. So if that was to happen, then Meghan would be called Princess Henry of Wales, right? She would be a Princess of Wales. And they just would not want that to happen. They don't want her being called a Princess of Wales. So it is kind of confusing. I don't know how it overlaps like that, but I thought they used the name Wells while Harry was in the military, as opposed to using Mountbatten-Windsor. But he's not a Mountbatten-Windsor, he's a Wells. And that's confusing to me because I thought for sure that he would have been a Mountbatten-Windsor, right? No, he's a Wells. So if that's the case, what does that make Lily and Archie? See what I mean? I thought I saw Mountbatten-Windsor, but it seems like that may not be accurate. Black Queen says, Baron Squatty's, let's see, is that Thebe? Is reminding us that Chucky changed the website because he's about to go to Kenya. What a fraud. Oh! Yes! Yes, and in the spirit of goodwill amongst the Commonwealth, I'm picking up what y'all putting down. In the spirit of goodwill And during Black History Month in the UK, and going to a Commonwealth country like Kenya, which is full of what? Black folks. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Is it Thebe? Phoebe? And thank you, Black Queen. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I would have totally missed that. Thank you. Diane Hawkins says, since Charles is trying to claim the very successful Sussexes this week, ask the website creators to post a photo that the rest of us don't already have too. Trust that they don't have nothing but Sussex does. Thank you, Diane Hawkins. Let me see. And Dansby says, someone on Twitter said the genocide in Gaza is turning into a crisis where William, let me see, supposed to be the peace in the Middle East. I just shook my head. Willie always, yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Let me see here. The Princes in the Tower would be interesting. Allegedly, Edward IV was not his real father's son. They really don't want to start testing DNA. All manner of skeletons might come tumbling out. Yeah, well, I thought they started that thing about Edward IV just so that Richard III could make his case to to be the and plus they don't really have to test the other members of the royal family. They can compare that DNA to other people further down the bloodline. They don't have to be so specific with it because by the time the Hanoverians showed up, you know what I mean? That kind of shifted things in another direction anyway. So yes, there would be some. Oh, I'll put it to you like this: it was a big circle of people, right? And there was a lot of people within the nobility that would have very similar DNA. So I wouldn't know how that would turn out, but I don't think it would be close enough to the modern day royal family that it would make a difference. They did test the DNA of some distant relatives of Richard III, right? And those supposedly were his nephews of his brother, not his sister. But I think among most of the nobility, there's a lot of, you know, hanky panky that went on, and they did marry cousins and stuff. So I guess we'll never know. It would be a slight risk, but I don't think that big of a risk that it would mean that um, it would change the House of Windsor. Because I guess what I'm trying to say is somewhere down the line, they would be within the bloodline. They may not have necessarily have been the next person to the throne, but they would have been there eventually. I mean, if you go back far enough, they are related to somebody else. So there's that to consider. And then, you know, uh, a Catholic cannot sit on the throne. Even if you are the Prince of Wales and you convert to Catholicism, you are immediately excluded from the throne. Charles is not supposed to be on the throne because he married in a registrar's office and not in the church. The church refused to marry him to Camilla. So he is not supposed to be king. They make it up as they go along. So I couldn't imagine that that would have any effect on anything. You know, what about the what's her name? The rumor about Cookie, the Queen's mother, the Queen Mother, Cookie, the French cook. But you know what? This is just fun to talk about, and right now we need to have some type of distraction. It doesn't hurt at all to do this. So I know this is not a really big deal or anything like that, but as an exercise, it is kind of fun and funny, and I'm desperately enjoying it because I know that it grates on the nerves of the derangers. And, you know, since I just said that, you guys, listen, I know a lot of times it seems like I'm a little clueless about stuff, but sometimes I'm just saying stuff that I figured would trigger the derangers because I want them to feel the same kind of inadequacies and torturous thoughts that they try to throw at us. I like to give it back to them. I like to push back. You all know that. So sometimes it's just, I'm not really talking directly to you. I might be talking directly to the derangers because I'm just that shady. But they're so easily triggered. I think that's so funny. I mean, you would think they would have something better to do. Wash your feet, wash your legs, get your mattress up off the floor, those kind of things. Oh my God, that was funny. Christopher Bosie is so funny. Um, oh, they are so easily triggered. Okay. All right. Oh, so wait a minute. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let me go back here. So, about the Duchess of Sussex. The Duchess of Sussex, born Rachel Meghan Markle, married Prince Harry at St. George's Chapel, Windsor, in May 2018. The Duke and Duchess have two children, Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. I thought it was Lilibet Diana, but okay. Well, okay, they didn't use Archie's middle name either, so that's okay. As announced January 2020, the Duke and Duchess have stepped back as senior members of the royal family. They are balancing their time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor their duties to the monarch, the Commonwealth, and that's interesting. Here it says to the monarch. Harry says to duty to the king. Okay. To the monarch, the Commonwealth, and their patronages. The Duchess will continue to support a number of charitable causes and organizations which reflect the issues with which she has long been associated. I like that, including the arts, access to education, support for women. She's a feminist, and animal welfare. So that was good. That paragraph works for me. That works for me because it does reflect in a roundabout way, but it does reflect that Meghan has always been the same person before and after marrying into that family. Those were the things that were of interest to her. So they got that right. The Duchess's official titles are the Duchess of Sussex, Countess of Dumbarton, and the Baroness of Kilkeel. So nothing has changed, right? Except they've stepped back from official royal duty. Now, I don't see any mention of HRH. Did I miss that? I don't see any mention of HRH. That's the only thing that I'm missing is where's the HRH? But otherwise, you know, Helen Cole says they never discussed Queenside piece, Camilla family. Oh, Queenside piece, Camilla family and bloodline. Yeah, you know, because wasn't her grandmother or great grandmother, what is it, Edith Keppel or whatever? She was the mistress of George V. Was it George V or George VI? George V. Yeah, so Camilla might have some of that royal blood. And maybe, they said that Charles actually shopped around looking for some of those gifts that were given to her great great grandmother from, was it Edward the Caresser, right? Edward the whatever, that he's been buying stuff back and giving it back to Camilla so that it can go down back into the family of bloodline again. So that marriage to Camilla really it really I okay. I've always heard that Charles and Camilla, they love the idea of like continuing that um affair that his great grandfather had with the Keppel lady, and that this is just like the 2.0. You know, aside from having an ex-wife die mysteriously and tragically in a tunnel in Paris, which there's still no reasonable, sound explanation. I guess it is a continuation of that affair. So thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Let me see here. Yep, trying to own their success, trying to take ownership of their success. Edward the Seventh, is it? Let me see. Edward the Seventh. She is also descended from Charles the Second. Okay. Yeah, she looks a lot like Charles the Second and the First. She also looks like Charles Bronson. You know what? I was doing so good until I started talking about her. She also has a striking resemblance to Ernest Borgnine. Okay, let me stop. What she do? She has that striking resemblance to Ernest Borgnine. So you could easily say that. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Oh. um. Yes, thank you, Yulibi. I agree. Um. Let me see. Patrinia Copeland says Prince Harry was born HRH. It is his birthright. Princess Meghan is HRH, Princess of the United Kingdom. Archie's official birth certificate. Thank you. Is it Patrinia? Thank you so much for that. Okay. All right. Once I see Ernest Borgnine, then I cannot unsee it. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what happens, I'm still seeing Ernest Borgnine. Oh, okay. Or is it Boris Karloff? Is it Long Channing or Boris Karloff I'm seeing? Huh. Is it Lon Channing or Boris Karloff that I'm seeing? I see some of everything. It just depends on the lighting, the time of day. I see a lot of things. Oh, okay. Woo. All right. I got that out of my system. Now we can move on. Oh, all right. I'm done. I'm serious again. So that was the changes. I don't know what was there before, to be honest with you. I don't remember what was there before, but I know from time to time people do tend to watch the official royal website, and they're able to see the changes. But this is probably only the second time I've ever actually looked at the royal website because, frankly, I just didn't care enough. But yeah, there you go. Joyce Yvette Davis says the more successful Harry and Meghan are, the royal family will claim them and still honoring the monarch. The half in, half out will become a reality regardless of them stepping back completely. You know, Joyce, you just triggered a thought in my head too. It is very interesting that they how do I put this? That they were floating this idea of mending fences, right? They were floating this idea, not directly from the palace, but through some of those people in the royal rodents. They have been floating the idea about Harry and Meghan coming back to work. Right? We all know that that's not going to happen. Harry does not see himself ever going back. Now, it's going to take some time if they ever do anything on behalf of the monarch. It is going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of water under the bridge before that happens. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not even saying that it shouldn't happen. Of course, it would depend on the circumstances. And I'm going to just tell you flat out, Harry's not going to do anything that is going to compromise him ethically, right? He's not going to do anything that goes against his brand. And of course, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying brand because everybody has a brand. So he's not going to do anything like that. It would have to be something exceptional. Not exceptional as in the most important thing in the world, but maybe someday in the future, a presidential funeral or something like that. You know, laying a wreath here in the United States. I'm sure Harry would not mind doing something like that, especially if it's something to do with military. They acted capriciously and foolishly by stripping him of all of the military stuff. That was a dumb thing to do, um, especially in this day and age when there's so many people that are turning away from military service. And of course, considering the fondness that the military has for Harry, it just seems like a big mistake. Harry has connections within the militaries here, there, and probably a few others that William will never have, right? And I'm not saying that it's anything that would ever be used to anybody's advantage, but people respect Harry, people like Harry, and it would be a nice touch. It really would. Or should I say it would have been, but now it's probably impossible. It's probably impossible and not likely to happen. But I think under particular circumstances, you know, if Harry and his father ever are connected again, and you know his father is still alive, Harry is still here, so if they're ever connected again, maybe, just maybe, there might be something to be done. We just can't know, you know. um especially when you consider that Harry is still in line for the throne. I mean, he's in the fifth position, right? And his brother, who fancies, you know, traveling a lot. The point is, anything can happen at any time. Um, and if his brother ever became incapacitated before those children were adults, then there might be something to be done or anything. If Charles becomes incapacitated and William becomes his regent, they may need Harry. They may need him, and depending on where they are at that time, you can never say never. That's all I'm saying. So not likely, but there's always a possibility. I mean, if Nixon if Nixon can go to China, anything is possible. That's one of those metaphors that we have used for years, right? If Nixon, gosh, I don't know why it's hard to say that, but if Nixon can go to China, anything's possible. Thank you, Joyce Yvette Davis. Okay. Shelly L says, Camilla looks like a balled up napkin after an old retired that removed her makeup and her teeth. Well, thank you, Shelly L. You paint with a very vivid imagery. And of course, the voice has to be kind of like a combination. What's her name? Tallulah Bankhead and Carol Channing. They have to have that voice, that very gruff voice. No, Harvey Fierstein. They have to have the Harvey Fierstein voice. And that is the only thing that would make that complete, is they have to have that very grizzled Harvey Fierstein voice, and then it's complete. Okay. Let me see here. I was looking for something and I decided, let me try my other PC and see if I can find it there. Let me see. Nope, it's not here either. I don't know where it is. I always forget the other PC, and whatever I don't have on one is likely to be on the other. But in this instance, I still don't see it. So never mind. Never mind. I guess we aren't going to watch something together later because I don't see it. Not at all. Huh. And that was 5 months ago. Oh, I do this every time, don't I? That was 5 months ago. Huh. Well, anyway. Okay. Thank you, Shelly L. Let us continue. Exactly. Tell us how you really feel. Okay. Well, let's see. Pam Porter says, that might explain the recent headlines. Charles not being happy with the Sussexes half in, half out arrangement. That arrangement was offered by Harry and Meghan and declined by the firm. Well, I'm scratching my head to say this. There is a school of thought, and actually I heard this from a deranger. There is a school of thought that Charles is using the Sussexes to keep Will and Kate in line. Did you get all that? Charles, drink of water. Charles is using the Sussexes to keep the Cambridges in line. So I had to think about that. And, well, I mean, what do you all think? That kind of makes sense to me. I could see that. I mean, if I was Charles and I had this headstrong son who happens to be the Prince of Wales, who doesn't really seem to have a great deal of respect for me, who certainly doesn't listen to me, if I needed to, try to offset that that court rivalry, if you will, what better way to do it than to use the popular good looking son that is married to the, brainy movie star, beautiful wife, that seems like the logical thing to do. If you can't seem to, you know, get the proper respect that you feel like you deserve, then you would have to use leverage. And I think the Sussexes, if I was Charles, I would say that would be the perfect leverage. Is and by mind you, this is coming from a deranger. That was coming from a deranger that said that Charles is using the Sussexes as leverage with the Cambridges. So, but that being said, when it comes to outward appearances, they all seem to get along just fine. But how many times have we actually seen the two households together in the past, let's say, year? How often have we seen them together? Very little, very little. So there may be some truth to that. It's kind of hard to say, but there may be some truth to that. I don't know. Um, mm, I hate to say it again, but recollections may vary. Well, yeah, that's just some food for thought. Um, Gosh, I don't know what I did with that video. Hmm. Oh well. So thank you. Let me continue here. Yes, Sonia Johnson. I think you're echoing the same thing. The changes is due to Charles' upcoming trip to Kenya. I hope the people demonstrate. Let him know that he is not their king, and run them out of town. uh, yeah, I think it's going to be very carefully orchestrated, though. Um, yeah, I can understand that, B. Thomas, but that's still Harry's family. That is still his family. That is still his paw. Like it or not, that's his father. Let me see. Um, oh, I'm sorry. Ernest Borgnine picture makes him look lovable and likable. Hamila's image makes people run and scream. Uh, okay. Okay, Reba Henderson says Harry does not care to be used by Charles, who is married to that skank who sold him out. Charles does not have any leverage with the Sussexes. He fortified all of that long ago. Forfeited. I'm sorry, not fortified. Forfeited. Yes, that's true. That's true. Harry ain't no fool. Harry ain't no fool. Trust and believe Harry ain't no fool. It would have to be a particular circumstance. And the only reason why I say it's not impossible is because Harry did go to the Queen's funeral. Harry did go to the coronation. He has fulfilled certain things as a council of state. So it's not that he's lost complete interest in the royal family. We cannot possibly say that. He didn't go to Philip's memorial, right? But he did go to the Jubilee thing for the Queen. It seems as though he's closer to the Queen, or was closer to the Queen, than he is presently to his father. So, you can plus and minus here and there, but I don't want to see him used. He had enough sense not to get involved with all of those bags of money and cash for honors. So he definitely ain't a dum dum. You know what I'm saying? And every time that he has gone over there, every time, he has been able to leverage things the way he wants it to be. Like, I'm going to go. I'm going to be there 28 hours, and I'm going to leave and board a plane in my morning suit with a clothes hanger. And that's exactly what he did. So he's not going to be made the fool for that family. They were able to get away with what they got away with during the Queen's funeral. That ain't gonna ever happen again. That's not gonna ever happen again. That was a one of. I guess the next best chance they do something like that would be whenever his father dies. And that might be a long time from now, and who knows where they'll be at that point. Okay, so stop with the freaking titles. They no longer working royals. Buy, unfollow. Okay, so this was a deranger, maybe, maybe not. Maybe it was just a person who just stumbled across the page. But this is very typical. Stop with the freaking titles. They no longer working royals. That is the kind of stuff that the moderators and myself delete every day. Every day. Always. Every day. So Meghan became a princess of the United Kingdom. This is from the Wikipedia, by the way. Meghan became a princess of the United Kingdom upon marriage to Prince Harry, entitled to the style of Royal Highness after her marriage. She was styled Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. She also holds the title of Countess of Dumbarton and Baroness Kilkeel. She is the first person to hold the title Duchess of Sussex, following the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Duchess's decision to step back from royal duty in 2020. The couple agreed not to use their style of Royal Highness in practice, but they still referred to as they are still referred to as His and Her Royal Highness in legal settings. Okay? So they don't use those titles, especially for trade, commerce, such and such. They don't use those titles. But if they have a document to sign, right? Or if they, if they're in some situation where it requires their titles, then they use their titles. So they are still His and Her Royal Highness. And sometimes I just share this with the derangers. Child ain't trying to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. So there you go. Now, this is the actual chart. You can see Charles III. And I hate the fact that they took Princess Diana's photo and turned it into a black and white, but they took all the color out of her image. Yes, we know she's deceased mysteriously and tragically. We understand that. And then, of course, down to William, and William carries the line right down to his kids. And then, of course, you can hop over to Harry's line, which includes Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and, of course, Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. That's going to take a lot to get used to. Okay, it says of Sussex here, but then over here for Good Morning America, that was BBC. Theirs, of course, says Master. Okay, so that's the old one right there. That one is old. Master Archie Mountbatten-Windsor, Miss Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor. That's an old one because initially, even the Daily Fail, I forgot how many of them, but several of the British newspapers used Prince and Princess. And then, of course, there was that long period where they would not change it officially on the website. And the only reason why they changed it was because of Lilibet's christening. And of course, when the Sussexes made the official announcement calling her Princess Lilibet Diana, then all of a sudden they changed it on the royal website. So there's the little flow chart right there. Number one in line, Willie Leaks, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, Duke of Sussex, and of course Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, the Duke of York, Beatrice, and the Monopoly Child, and then of course Princess Eugenie and the bartender's child, and the other bartender's child. So, and then Edward, Viscount Severin, what's her name, Lady Louise, and then of course Anne, Peter Phillips, Savannah Phillips. Is it Ilsa? Gosh, I couldn't see that. Her, and then of course Zara the tongue ring Tyndall. Could you imagine the Queen having a tongue ring? Zara the tongue ring Tyndall, and then of course Mia Tyndall, Lena, is it Lena Tyndall, and Lucas Tyndall. Ugh, ugh. I don't ever want to see them Tyndall kids on the throne. Ugh, that would just be jarring because it reminds me of their father. Ugh. Anyway, so that's the way it looks today. And I'm sure it just bothers them. It just bothers them that bloodline goes through the Duchess of Sussex to Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. That just keeps them up at night, gnashing their teeth, pacing the floor, hurling feces across the room. All of that is happening as we speak because of Archie and Lily having the Duchess of Sussex as a mom. That just bothers them. It just goes to show racism is alive and well. They are so triggered by that. They're so triggered. Could you imagine if Harry had married Lupita Luongo? Could you imagine that if he was married to Lupita? Gosh, they would really implode. He followed his heart, right? He fell in love, and of course, she was someone exceptional in his life, and he decided, I want to be with her forever. And that's just upsetting to some people. Let me see. Okay. Benny Blair says H&M designed Frogmore as their family home and intended, to live there forever. They even paid for all the interior design. Now, with 2 kids, King Charles wants to offer them an apartment. Well, Vinnie Blair, we don't even know if that's the case. I mean, that's what the Royal Report is. That's like a big leak, but it hasn't been officially made known to, you know, I haven't seen any official anything for that. So who could be sure? Who could be sure? Sometimes they leak stuff and hope that Harry will call them or something like that. It's hard to say. I don't know if I believe that. Because if that was the case, why would they have taken away Frogmore? They got more property than you could shake a stick at. Harry could have paid. Well, actually, he was paying rent on Frogmore, wasn't he? So there's no explanation why you would take something away and then give them something back. You know, if you took something away from him, then you didn't mean for him to have it. Helen Cole, Prince Louis looks like Andrew, the sick old man. Thank you so much, Helen Cole. That's unfortunate, but yeah, you can see a little Andrew. Okay. So royal family cost the taxpayers over £345 million last year, while Meghan and Harry remains financially independent. It's all in the numbers, right? It's all in the numbers. Kim Peaches says, Baron, the Mountbatten-Windsor name belongs to the male line descendants of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and is used by them if a surname is needed. Okay. Huh. Okay. Thank you for that. Now, the royal website was updated referencing Harry and Meghan as continuing to honor the duty of the king, patronages, and that too. Um, it lists the kids' titles and Meghan's, the monarchy attaching themselves to their success and popularity. No wonder the haters are mad. So that was a quote from one of the squatties. And the very, very sad truth, we have lost Chrissy Snow. We have lost Suzanne Summers, which is really, really sad. I liked her. She's the only person who ever reached out to help with my thighs. For years, I have struggled with those massive thighs, and while they are not any smaller, I have to say, at least there was hope thanks to Suzanne Summers and, of course, the Thigh Master. One of the most underrated inventions of our lifetime, the Thigh Master. But rest in peace, Suzanne Summers. Thank you for all the entertainment, the laughs, the hope for our thighs. And of course, always keeping yourself so youthful. I mean, she always, obviously she was older, but she always looked like Chrissy Snow to me. So that's that. Very sad. She had a very aggressive, I think they said it was a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And anyway, she has been battling the breast cancer, I think they said, for 23 years, which is a testament to her force of will, her faith, and of course, modern science. All of those things kept her alive all this time. And she even said that it was Olivia Newton-John who taught her to not be afraid of breast cancer. So, yeah, that is something that will be used, I'm sure, by a lot of people who may find themselves in that similar situation where you look to some other survivors for encouragement. So 23 years she fought, and at age 76 she passed away. And so in honor of Suzanne Summers, come and knock on our door. Take a step that is new. Where the kisses are hers and his, three's company too. Come and walk on our, what is it? Come and dance on our floor. I forgot the song. But yeah, three's company. Three's company too. Did you guys know that that show was actually based on a British comedy called Man About the House? It was actually based on a British comedy, just like Sanford and Son, and just like All in the Family and a few other shows. It was originally a British comedy that eventually was adapted for American television. And so the same premise that the two girls had a male roommate that wasn't supposed to be there, and the rest, of course, is comic history. All right, World Central Kitchen today. World Central Kitchen partners in Gaza. What is that? I'm going to try it anyway. Honora.org, honora.org, and World Central Kitchen Partners in Gaza was able to distribute 500 food parcels to people. The boxes included items that are all ready to eat. That are ready to eat. Today's deliveries went to 2 schools and other shelters housing displaced families. So, of course, ready to eat means you don't have to cook it. That means you open it up and consume it. Probably means that you may have to mix it with water, maybe not, but ready to eat food. So, in a situation that they're in right now, that is vitally important. And if you take a look here, I just wanted to share something with you that I can never not see. Israel did the same thing to the Palestinians that the Europeans did to Native Americans. And if you look at the map of the United States, there's the original 13 colonies, right, in the Northeast. And eventually, they pushed further and further inland, broke all those treaties, broke all those promises. And of course, in tandem with the broken treaties and promises, there was, of course, disease, a disease that took out so many Native Americans. Just like the Hawaiians, they had absolutely no resistance. Only the strongest survived. But otherwise, coming in contact with the Europeans, well, it was a life-ending prospect. Only about 10% survived. So, as you can see, Native Americans' loss of land from 1784 to 1972. It didn't end until 1972. That's 188 years. 188 years. And then if you look at the map of Palestine, Palestine went from what you see in 1946. And then, of course, there was, that treaty in 47, right? That's the 1947 map. And then, of course, it turned into the 1967 map, which had to do with a war. What do they call it? Yom Kippur War. And then take a look at 2010. Even the land that was set aside for the Palestinians eventually was infiltrated with settlements. It's called Zionism. And eventually they plan to consume all of what you see there. There will be no green. With the help of your American tax dollars, there will be no green, which means that there won't be a Palestine. That is their plan anyway, is that there's not to be a Palestine, and that people can look at that and pretend as though it does not exist or that it's not happening, and that our tax dollars have been instrumental in ensuring that it happens. It is hurtful, it's painful, it's humiliating and downright deadly for the people that are affected by it directly. But that is the reality of it, and I'm assuming that most people know this already, but if you don't, that is the reality of it. That the reality is that they want the Palestinians' land, and they want the Palestinians to cease to exist within those borders unless they are living continually in a subservient position. In other words, second-class citizens. They will treat them like they are tenants in their own land. That is the plan. And in an area, I think they said it was about, let me see. I want to try to wrap your brains around something. How many square miles is the Gaza Strip? Okay, the Gaza Strip is, it says here, 140 square miles. I don't know how many meters that is, but it's 140 square miles. So you got 2.2 million, 2.4 million people living in 140 square miles. The city of Chicago is 238 square miles, and that's a city of approximately 2.8 million people. And maybe one fifth or one fifth, maybe one fourth of Chicago is O'Hare Airport. Okay. A huge chunk of Chicago is O'Hare Airport. So of course, that's not a residential area. So imagine over 2 million people living in 140 square miles, making it one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Yeah, that's a lot of people. And what they have is what they were limited to because of Zionism. What they have is what they're limited to because of the Zionism. And so to be anti-Zionist does not make you anti-Semitic, unless you're talking to someone who is a Zionist, and then of course that makes you anti-Semitic too. So that's the way it is. I mean, that's the reality of it, and it makes me feel helpless because as we are sitting here right now, all of this is happening, and it has been happening, and it only took 64 years to get there. All of that happened in 64 years. And whatever you think about the violence from the Palestinians, from the Hamas, the Gaza Strip, whatever you think about that, look at that map. And what does that tell you? And it doesn't even measure the loss of life that has occurred. It's like we're not supposed to count them because if they're Palestinians, well, it's just the same way they used to do the slaves. You're not a whole person. It is apartheid. It is apartheid. It is South Africa 2.0. It's apartheid. And there's a good reason why the South African government of the Afrikaners, of course, and the government of Israel, it's no wonder they were so chummy with each other. As a matter of fact, it was even said some time ago that what South Africa was really angling toward was to have their own nuclear weapon. And they wanted that as a way to hold their enemies at bay. They wanted to make sure that they would never lose to a majority state of Black people in Africa. They didn't want Black Africans to ever overrun them. They wanted to make sure that as African countries gained their independence, that they wouldn't try to overthrow the South African government. So they wanted their own nuclear weapon. Now, Israel officially doesn't have a nuclear weapon. Everybody knows they do, but they pretend as though they don't. As a matter of fact, I believe the person who finally blew the whistle was jailed for saying, yeah, we got one. So that's the reality of it. If you don't understand anything else, if you do understand everything else, it really comes down to that map right there. That is the long-term goal. And in our lifetime, we will probably see all that green disappear. If everything keeps going the direction that it is, everything green on that map is going to turn white. And that will be the end of Palestine. And they are going to gaslight. They are going to lie. They are going to coerce. They're going to use all the leverage that they have to make sure that the Western media plays right along with it. So, and having said that, they probably will demonetize this video, but that's the truth. Having said that, they'll probably demonetize the video because the ad revenue won't support a conversation like that. It has been very weird on social media for the past 7-8 days, in that they have really put social media into a chokehold. And of course, having that lunatic buy Twitter, well, you know which direction that's going. So that's the way it is right now. But whatever happens to me or to anybody else on social media, it couldn't possibly ever be as worse as what you see on that map right there. I'm going to show you something else. Now, I did mention that is what happened to North America. That is what happened to the Americas, right? The white people showed up, bringing guns, Bibles, and disease. And that's the truth. The white people brought guns, Bibles, and disease. European colonization of Americas killed so many, it cooled Earth's climate. Research finds killing of native people indirectly contributed to a colder period by causing deaths of around 56 million by 1600. European colonization of America resulted in the killing of so many native people that it transformed the environment and caused Earth's climate to cool down. New research has found settlers killed off huge numbers of people in conflicts, and also by spreading disease, so reduced the indigenous population by 90% in the century following Christopher Columbus' initial journey to the Americas and Caribbeans in 1492. The great dying of indigenous people in Americas resulted in a human-driven global impact on the Earth's system. In 2 centuries prior to the Industrial Revolution, wrote a UCL team, Alexander Koch that is, and Chris Brearley, Mark Maslin, and Simon Lewis. So the drop in the temperature during the period known as the Little Ice Age, a time when the River Thames in London would regularly freeze over. Snowstorms were common in Portugal, and disrupted agriculture caused famine in several European countries. So the reason why this struck my interest is because I kept hearing them say the Little Ice Age, the mini Ice Age. The River Thames was frozen solid. You could walk across the river. I heard that time and time again. I had no idea it had to do with colonization. That colonial period killed off so many people that it cooled down the earth. That is incredible. But absent anything else, it is likely the truth. And that was 1492 to what? And just think about it. For all of that, you would think that genocides would have ended. But then you go back to this map again. It continues. It has not ended. It is modern day. So Israel controls the water. I've even read that some people, some of the Palestinians in those Palestinian areas, they may put a solar panel on their house. and the Israeli soldiers will come and rip it down because they don't want them to be independent of Israel, the state of Israel. So it is so egregious and so outrageous, and it plays in HD on television every day, and we're not supposed to say anything about it. We're supposed to pretend like it does not exist, but it does. And if things are trending the direction that it's going right now, everybody's upset. Everybody's caught up in their feelings, but in as few as the next 5 years, there may not even be a Palestine. It seems to me like they're trying to just leverage them out of there. That many people living in an area half the size of Chicago. Wow. With no natural resources, with no free flow of trade. They don't even control water. Everything that they get has to filter through their jailers, the open air jail that is Palestine, that is Gaza. It has to funnel through the jailers. Otherwise, they're not entitled to have it. And to hear some of the language that some of the people use in reference to Gaza, to hear some of the Israelis, to hear the language. And I'm just like, we can hear you, right? That is jarring. But I believe that the Zionism is like a cult. I really do believe it's like a cult. Zionism to me is a cult. Yeah. That went down. Oh, excuse me. That went down the wrong way. Okay. Yeah. But to me, it's like a cult. So, Dr. Vivek Murthy. Wait, more water. I'm having a little reflux. Excuse me. It's important to have parents in the room when talking about social media. The impact on youth mental health. That is why Archwell Foundation and I came together on World Mental Health Day to hear from parents about their experiences and discuss a path toward a safer online world. Well, obviously, this meeting must have had a huge impact on him because he posted this today. So I can't help but think that Dr. Murthy must have walked away from this meeting and still thought about it a lot. So much so that on a Sunday, which of course is not a regular work weekday, but then again, he is the Surgeon General. He doesn't really have an off day. But the fact that he posted about it on a Sunday, I think that is a good indication that he has not stopped thinking about it. Oh, I know. A Ricola. A Ricola. Hold on. That is what I needed, was a Ricola. I know, Black Queen. It is upsetting. It is very upsetting. And with our tax dollars, no less. With our tax dollars. You can see here the very intense conversation. Well, at least it looks intense to me. But it was very emotional. This whole thing was very emotional. And what really gets me is that, again, I listened to some of the derangers. I read some of what the things that they said. And they kept saying that Harry looks like a broken man. Harry looks like a broken man. Did you not hear what the topic was? It wasn't just Mental Health Day. They were meeting with the families that lost children because of social media. And so for that reason, it was a very heavy topic. And Harry was reacting to the moment. As you can see, Harry is sitting in a firm, upright chair. When Harry was seated, oh, it's not there either, but you know which chairs I'm talking about. When he was on stage, he kind of sunk into the chair, and it made him look like he was in a fetal position, which is unfortunate, but, you know, I'm pretty sure they didn't test out the furniture beforehand. They probably didn't realize that the chair was probably a bit too plush for someone of Harry's height, and therefore he just kind of sunk into the chair. And it looked very awkward. And then, anyway, I won't bore you with all of the stuff that I read, but it was just, it was interesting to me to see how they were able to spin, they were able to, I guess, what is the word I'm looking for? Lie, I guess, just lie. They would lie and make you believe that, well, you know, the usual stuff they say. So I'm not going to go into all those because it's so petty. But let me just say, they had a lot to say about it. Meghan's outfit was disrespectful. You know, showing the brownness of her skin is offensive to some people. What's that? Stand up, stand straight up, arms in the air, head back for 5 seconds. Well, I just popped a Ricola. That seemed to help. Good thing I had one sitting here. But thank you for that. Okay, so, and then Vogue magazine, they decided to tweet this. Now, this article originally was from October the 11th. They decided to tweet it again, or tweet it for the first time. I don't know which is which, but it says, Vogue France, fashion exit the neckline. This typical French trend will be everywhere this season. Meghan Markle, Elsa Hoax, Hailey Bieber, Kendall Jenner, they make it their fashion essential. So I guess the bare shoulders is going to be a thing this fall. Elaine Parker, good morning to you. And thank you for the super sticker. So if it's this time here, let me see, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. It's 5:30 a.m. in the UK, right? Or 5:32. Thank you very much and good morning. Hope you have a very, very productive week. Let's see. So the proof with Meghan Markle, who dares to have a sexy look. That is translated from French, I think. Starting with his sister-in-law back in New York. Meghan Markle and her husband attended the Archwell Mental Health Summit in honor of the day dedicated to the cause on October 10th. Remember, this is translated. Known for her classically elegant wardrobe made of stainless steel. This is translated. The Duchess of Sussex has once again focused on style, basic She wore the monochrome cream Altazura suit, another of her fashion signatures, featuring the uh, Bardot collar. Is that what they call that? Really? A strong and sexy piece that reflects the craze around the French trend. Okay, I didn't know that's what they call it. Let's see. All right, then. There you go. Now, how about some shade? Time to drag the Middletons. Village's vile message. Kate Middleton's parents became target of cruel poster campaign. After collapse of family party peace, I'm sorry, party after collapse of family party business. Party pieces folded in the summer with 2.6 million pounds of debt. The creditors have been calling on the couple to pay the outstanding sum out of their own pockets. Well, the broke Middletons owe a lot of money. Princess Kate family targeted in vile hate campaign as James Middleton left enraged. Well, apparently her brother ran around town tearing down the posters, but everybody in Buckleberry seen it. Yep, everybody in Buckleberry has seen those posters, but the people that they are in debt to are so desperate to get that money that they literally put posters up to embarrass them. Let's see. And yet another newsworthy incident involving the royal family and their immediate relatives, the parents of Kate Middleton, have been targeted with a rather cruel poster campaign. This issue arose after malicious messages were posted onto lampposts and trees around the couple's home village. Kate's brother James was seen tearing some of the posters down, although initially it wasn't clear just what prompted locals to turn on the family in such a demeaning manner. The company was run by Kate's mother and father. However, it was sold earlier in 2023. There is a degree of anger about this sale as the company went bust shortly after it was sold by the Middleton family. Why are locals so angry? It begs the question, why are locals so angry over some minor unpaid debts? Well, the issue stems from the fact that the locals want these debts to be repaid, not least because the Middleton family has access to the royal riches, or at least perceived to. Suppliers can't understand why they haven't been paid for the work they've done, services rendered, when the family who owns them, that owes them the money, has a direct line to Prince William, the future King of England. However, not all locals have been supportive of the recent poster campaign against the Middletons. Carol and Michael are incredibly popular. Everyone is horrified by these posters. It's unfair to do this in their home village, just yards away from where they live, one source told The Sun. Well, if you don't want that to happen, pay up. Just show them the money. So, angry suppliers are still owed after the closure of party pieces, which sold by Kate's mom, Carol, 68, and dad, Michael, 74, shortly before it went bust earlier this year. Some want the couple, also parents to Pippa, 40, to pay debts out of their own pockets. However, locals have been appalled by the posters plastered around Buckleberry, where the family has lived for several decades, and the neighboring West Berks village of Yattendon. A source said Carol and Michael are incredibly popular. Everyone is horrified by these posters. It's unfair to do this in their home village, just yards from where they live. So not only did they get them in their town, but they went over to the next town and plastered posters over there. That is too funny. That is too funny. I've never heard of such a thing where somebody would be in debt and the only way people can think to get their money is to plaster posters all over town. Now, the only thing is, and I know you want to see it, but I don't have a picture of the poster. I cannot find a photo of the poster. I checked probably 6 articles and nobody had an image of the poster. I tried. Party Pieces debt poster. Yeah, I can't find it. I just tried to Google it. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. No, that's not the poster. But it says balance overdue. Yeah, you guys, I cannot find the poster. I wanted to share one with you so bad, but I cannot find it. I cannot find it. But I tell you what, I don't want Kate's brother to have a meltdown because you know he's a bit fragile. So I'd hate to see him, compromised mentally. I can't. I'm not going to do that. No, I promise you I won't. Okay, I'll have one ready tomorrow. That's why I was hoping to find one. I was hoping I could find something that I could kind of, alter, something that I could kind of, fix up in my own language, my own style. So if I can find one, oh, I hear you. All right, Diane Hawkins, I'll make it my business. So Penniless Princess, broke. They are broke. And all I can say is Kate better keep smiling, keep shining, and don't leave that marriage. Better stay with him. Otherwise, her mama is going to be back at British Airways pushing her beverage cart up and down the aisle with those little mini bottles of cocktails. Yeah, it's going to be back to British Airways for you, Carol Middleton. Up and down the aisles of the 747, pushing your little beverage cart. Okay, so we have reached the conclusion of Royal Sussex for today, and I am going to leave you all with this. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. Again, happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. So just remember, hey, Rohini. Yes, it is the ability to deal with them. So that is your word for the day. And with that, you guys, I am going to say thank you very much. I need to drink some tea or something to loosen up whatever is going on. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much. Thank you, everyone, for your very generous contributions. Please don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. I don't bore you guys with that all day, so please make sure you do that. And of course, I never use any of those things reminding you to like and share and subscribe. None of that stuff. But it would be nice if you do. So we have just crossed let me see, where are we at? 43,000 subscribers? Yeah, we have just crossed over to 43,000 subscribers. And who knows, maybe by the end of the year, 80,000, 100,000. I want that play button. Gosh, do I want that play button. Oh, and for the moderators and everyone else, I know that the shorts are full of those trolls, right? But for some reason, it helps to grow the channel to make the shorts. And when people are writing their comments, they're engaged. And if they're engaged, then that means it helps the algorithm to notice Royal Sussex. So for now, I'm not ready to turn the comments off on the shorts. And yes, I know it's problematic. It is hurtful to see those nasty comments, some of which I've shared with you tonight. But um, it's the way things are with the YouTube right now. They expect us to make shorts. They're encouraging us to make shorts, and I didn't really make that many of them, and it took me a long time before I made any. But they do help the channel. I think in the past month, there's been like 5,000 new subscribers to Royal Sussex. So definitely it helps. And it brings engagement. There's a lot of new people to the Royal Sussex. And of course, there's a lot of new trolls with those new people, which is unfortunate. But right now, that's part of it. So I'm going to leave the comments. We will delete the ones that are negative and such. The hateful comments. We're going to continue to delete those, but just so you know, there's going to be more of it because there has been so much growth with the channel, and and it's not just Royal Sussex. I hear that all of the shorts are full of trolls, and also let us not forget the other reason why they're so triggered. They're so triggered because the Sussexes are getting a lot of good press. If you notice, ever since the Beyonce concert, they have been very, very hostile. And I think people who normally don't troll have been trolling, or at least are not as active when it comes to trolling all of a sudden. But just like an influx of it. And I can't help but think it's because the Sussexes are winning. I mean, they are continuing to win. They are expanding their portfolio, their popularity. All of that seems to evolve from the positive press that they received. I mean, when you look at the past month, actually, past month and a half, it's been like maybe 2 months, month and a half, 2 months. When you look at it, let's see, where is it? No, not that. Not that drunkard. Where am I going? Oh, this right here. This is one of dozens of articles. And most of the magazines, the online magazines, they have written several articles about that same event, right? And all of this looks good for the Sussexes. And with everything that happened, the only thing that they could find to go after them for was the convoy of vehicles. That was the only thing. They couldn't find anything else. So they had to go with the convoy. I'm like, that's all y'all got? That's it? They didn't have anything else. Nothing else. And then, of course, there was that weird article where it says Meghan and Kate band together in the name of mental health or whatever. Very bizarre. But prominent in the article was Meghan, and not so prominent Kate. So Kate goes and get a cream color outfit. She had that sweater outfit on, a skirt and top, wool, whatever it was made of. And that was supposed to be her big fashion moment. And what happens? They have been talking about Meghan ever since. Ever since. So I think that's why they're so triggered, is because the Sussexes have bypassed the tabloid media, bypassed the British press, which is exactly what they set out to do. And from, from the day that they declared that they're no longer dealing with the tabloids, they have tried everything to come after them. But it seems as though that this new exposure that they have is doing more for them in the past 2 months than they've had in the past 2 years. So it's not without its risk. It definitely has its risk, but I think it's a winning proposition because it shows their humanity. And for the people that defend them, even the people on TikTok, having these positive images of Harry and Meghan is going a long way to humanize them to the people that don't know them. And it's going a long way to defeat the people that tries to take away their humanity. It's going a long way. So much so that just this past weekend, Will and Kate got so desperate that they turned to vulgarity. They had to turn to vulgarity to try to get noticed. William in particular, who's touching my bum, is that the aubergine? That's a show of desperation because the Sussexes are winning. They're winning. They are winning this, whatever it is. I don't even want to name it, but they're winning it. I mean, look at that. The next king of England is doing a scripted, orchestrated interview, and he's talking about eggplants, right? The next king of England is in a room full of Windrush people, pensioners, and the only thing he could think of to say is, who's pinching my bottom? These are orchestrated. This is a comedy. This is like some comedy writers or something. This is designed to appeal to TikTok. This is their TikTok moment. They're desperate. Harry and Meghan are not the ones desperate. They are. They're doing everything they can to get attention because nobody is interested in the two of the most boring people that has ever drawn a breath. Boring. And so to demonstrate how desperate they are, they had to go to comedy to get noticed. It all makes sense now. It really makes sense. That's why they're doing it. Because the Sussexes sat in that group on Tuesday, was it the 10th? They sat with that group of people and they're still talking about it. They're still tweeting about it. And there's still like photos trickling in, and the Daily Mail cannot wait to post them, to write about them. You could look at the comments. If you look at the comments, if you count how many people have shared a story, how many people have commented on the story, that tells you how much engagement that they're having. And when it comes to those two, not enough. Not enough to justify the expense. They're making these slick video productions, right? All of that criticism about Harry and Meghan and their Netflix cameras. And now who has a camera crew? Will and Kate. Will and Kate, all cameraed up. So, all right. And with that, you guys, thank you very much. I'm done. Have a good night. For those of you that are going to bed, got to work tomorrow, school, whatever. And for those of you that are just waking up, a fine good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Royal Sussex. It has been a pleasure. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for the 43,000 subscribers. It is 43, right? It's not 44, 43. Yeah, thank you for the 43,000 subscribers. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, good night, Lydia. Good night, everybody. In my opinion, of course, right? In my opinion. Okay. Global statesman, or he wants to, let me see. Oh, clown for laughs. He can't have both. Yeah, thank you, Benny Blair. And Sonia Johnson. Oh, why don't I highlight these because they are moving on me. There we go. Baron, to top it off, New York City, is it New York City? Attorney General announced that they are going to do something about the internet demons. Yeah, state of New York, right? Attorney General. Okay. Legs, I didn't know you were here. Thank you so much for being here. 50K by Christmas. Yeah, it's likely to happen. I'm going to say 55. Let us revisit this. You say 50, I say 55. Yeah, I hope so. 55. Actually, I want 100 because I want that silver play button. I want to be able to hang up that silver play button. That is like, those are so cool. You only get those for 100,000 subscribers. You know, what's crazy about that, though, is that they make you get 100,000 subscribers, but Royal Sussex has more views, more engagement than a lot of those 100,000 subscriber channels. You know, having 100,000 subscribers don't mean you got that many people looking every day. Some people with 100,000 or even 1,000,000 subscribers, they may get 2,000 or 3,000 views in a day. So, but yeah, unfortunately, the shorts is the fast track. So, got to make more shorts. And I like the shorts. The shorts is fun. I mean, sometimes I do find myself getting lost. Have you ever looked through the shorts and you find yourself just flicking through one after the other, scrolling from one short to the next, one short to the next? I do that all the time. An hour passed by and I'm still looking at shorts. And of course, as usual, the first thing I say is, "Oh my God, did somebody roofie me? How long have I been here?" I was going to say something else, but I better not. You know how weird my mind works. Okay. I wanted to find a video for us to watch. Let me take one more look and see if I can find it. What's wrong, Lydia? Was it something I said? Huh? Was it something I said? You act like you've seen a ghost or heard a ghost or something. But anyway, if I could just find that video, I don't know what it's called. I was looking for the video where, well, someone said pyramid earlier. And I posted that one some time ago, but I just cannot find it. Oh, it was something I said, huh? But I just cannot find it. Oh, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, I can't find it. Hmm. I mean, the thing is, when I make the video, right? When I make those videos, I have a title that I use for the video, but then there's another title that I usually change it to by the time I post it. And therein lies the problem. I cannot figure out what the posted title is. Well, actually, the original title. So when I say I can't find something, that's because it has two different titles. Excuse me. I am having reflux really bad today. Um, yeah, nothing's coming to me. Let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. But again, for those of you that need to get out of here, go ahead. I'm just killing some time right now. Uh, so Meghan greeting young fans. Nope, that's not it. That's a short anyway, so I know that's not it. It has to be at least 5 months ago. Huh. Oh, okay. This might help. Let me see. Meghan on Ellen. No, but it's got to be something Meghan. I'm sure Meghan is in the title. And there's over 1,300 Royal Sussex videos. And out of that 1,300, I don't even think 50 of those are shorts. So there's far more lives and edited videos than there are shorts. Huh. Yeah, I'm lost. I can't find it. That's Meghan's neighbor. Royal Ascot. I don't even remember what that one was. So, I am going to work this out. I promise you. I told you all I need days to organize everything because I'm just like taking so much information in. And I used to like take the time to organize everything, but I haven't done that in a while. And I really, really should, because then when I'm looking for something, I know where to find it. Well, it's a process. Maybe I should hire someone. Oh, okay. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex and Princess of the Realm. Therein lies the problem. Okay. Let me try that. No, that ain't it. But it's got to be some variation of that title. That's the thing. I know it's a variation of that title. Hmm. Well, let me see. I'm still here, by the way. Looking for something. So, Duchess of Sussex, Princess of the Realm, therein lies the problem. Hmm, that is so weird. I cannot find it. Let me see. The only thing I could think of is that maybe I made it on the other computer 5 months ago. Usually at this point, Lydia has found it, but good night, y'all. Uh, oh, thank you, Obi. Let's see. Baron, your words can't please everyone, but we praying for peace, love, and happiness for the world. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Beautiful words. You think so, Pam Porter? I have made such a mess of this stuff. I want to believe you. I do. I want to believe you, but I don't know if that would help because this is a mess. I would have to do it myself. I don't think a software could do it for me. But then again, I shouldn't doubt, right? I wouldn't know unless I actually try. So it would be worth it. I mean, I could always like use the software and then cancel it. It's not like I have to keep it. Huh. Uh-oh. I think I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Okay, I'm not close. Not at all. Not in the least. Nowhere close. I'm just as lost as I was before. Probably worse. I'm going too far in the other direction. Yeah, that's going to be my New Year's resolution. I'm going to organize all of my material. I'm thinking it had to be around the time of the coronation, right? Right. They ask me how I know. Da, 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 da. Yep, I give up. I give up. Wait a minute. Why are we looking at those two weirdos? Let me go back to there we go. How come y'all didn't tell me that them people were on the screen? There we go. Phew, that's better. Oh, wait, what was that? Found that title under videos. Yeah, well, this is the thing. I wanted to share it here, but I have to find the original for me to share it, not the one I uploaded. So I know it's under videos, but I was trying to find it, in my side of things. So, but since you said that, you could always look at it over there. I just thought it would be fun for us to watch it together. You know how we watch movies or videos at the end. So I thought we could watch it together as a team. That kind of thing. Oh, a bonding so we could bond. That's all. But yeah, I know it's over in the videos, but it doesn't help me on this side of things. But thank you. But it doesn't help over on this side. Because when after I make it, see, when I upload it, I change the title. And that's why I can't find it. I can't find the original title. But it's okay. We can bond over something else. We'll bond another time. We're going to be stuck like glue. We're going to be like Laverne and Shirley. Plus 43,024 subscribers. Good news for today. Very good news. Okay, let me try that. Nope, that didn't work. No, I give. All right, so if there's nothing else, you all, I'm going to say good night. It has been a pleasure as per usual. Even though I'm still sitting up here looking. Oh, but you know what? You know what? I think I know what happened. When I what do you call it? I think when I had to, no, that probably didn't happen. I was going to say when I had to, I actually lost some videos. I did lose some videos because it wasn't working and I had to do some maintenance and I lost some videos like that. So that's probably what happened. No worries though. All right, so I'm going to look at the chat and see what you all are talking about, and then I'm going to get out of here. Let's see. Pam says, Bear and I bet Bones is exhausted. She's done more this year than in the last 10 years. That's true. That's true. They have shown some stamina, but yeah, I do believe that they are likely exhausted. What's that you got there? Let me see. Lydia has something there. Let me see what that is. Oh, that one. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can find that one. Okay, let me see if I can find that one.
Because of fear of black skin, they will let a woman drown. Royal. No matter how gentle the black, how light the skin, how gorgeous the face, how talented the soul, how pure the intentions, they will not protect us. No matter how innocent the life, how secure the birthright titles will be stripped and babies tossed to wolves, because of a fear of black skin, they will let a woman drown in their lies. They will let the darkness swallow her, see her reach out for help and not only turn their backs, but crush her fingers beneath their feet, with hope she will plummet off the cliff. The why is obvious, the why is consistent, the why is always the same. Black. They want her suffering because she was breathing while black, because her light outshines the white with her blackness. They will turn their backs on their own, stop taking calls from their sons because of blackness. And what else should we expect from the birthplace of white supremacy, the birthplace of slavery, the birthplace of the patriarchy, the soul of colonialism? And what else should we expect from a lineage of resilience, of beauty, of strength, of everlasting hope, her bounce back, her reboot, her survival? Catch this black girl magic, catch this brilliance, catch this happy, catch this radiance that not even 1200 years of hate can kill. Catch this liberation, catch this revolution, this world woman, this global majority. Catch all of this unbreakable blackness. She doesn't need your titles. She has always been a queen.
Well, thanks, Lydia. I forgot all about that one. That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, you guys, we are good. I won't even do the Ginger Avenger tonight. That was perfect right there. All right. Sometimes you just know, right? Thank you, Connie Balmer, for being here. Oh, Connie Balmer, I have a friend in Switzerland. Well, let me see. Where did he go? Oh, I can't remember. Nathan, the one that interviewed me, he's in Switzerland. Well, he was. I think he leaves tomorrow. But he's in, what town is he in? Oh, well, I forgot. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, he's in Switzerland right now. And leaves tomorrow by train. So, all right. Okay, we're good then, right? All right. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a good night. And yeah, take care of yourselves and each other.